Broadcast video is live. Okay, so welcome to all the Who's out here. We're here for Who's Network. I've got Alex Katzen, a graduate of the college in 2012, and she is currently a social media and PR freelance consultant in Charlottesville. She specializes in online reputation management and social media best practices. Before that, she was a public relations manager for Search Mojo and also did some work for Willow Tree Apps. And while she's not doing her day job, she also blogs as Cookie Dough Katzen. So Alex, we're talking about these and these creative connections. We kind of want to offer alums a sort of chance to get an idea of the kind of advice you might provide for, say, a student, a first year. What is the kind of opportunities does a first year have to sort of find their way in the world kind of thing? And you particularly are an interesting person for that, I think, because of the way you've gone about doing it. So we were talking yesterday before this, and one thing I think would be helpful is talk a little bit, Alex, about what makes you tick, and then what advice would you have for a first year who's trying to find out what makes them tick, what their passions are.
Thanks, Alaric. Hi, everyone. So what we were talking about was kind of how to make the most of what you are, who you are at when you first join, a big university like UVA. And so for me, what I've always said is it's really important to figure out what you enjoy doing, what you like to do, and that can be really hard because it's hard to figure out, oh, I want to be a lawyer or and work in SEO or social media, whatever. So kind of figure out what parts of life you enjoy, if you're an extrovert versus an introvert, and then kind of take it from there. So for me, I knew that I loved technology and the uses of it, but I wasn't as strong on the science and math portion of it. So coding didn't really appeal to me, but the social side of tech, as in social media and advertising, was really what works for me. And so one thing that I would recommend first years is to really figure out what that is. And the best kept secret is that we, as a generation in our teens and 20s, we're privileged with growing up in technology, and so that makes you oftentimes more valuable than you realize, because someone, say 40 years your age, doesn't know as much about the computer or social media or very basic skills that you have access to and understand. So really present your best self, and you'll go really far.
Great. I really like the way you approach that. And in fact, one of the things we had talked about, that you had mentioned that you had joined on the website committee for a group while you were in undergrad. And how did you sort of find ways, once you figured out what you were good at, what you loved doing, how did you find ways to take advantage of opportunities that were available to you?
That's a good question. I mean, I have a lot of energy. I like to do a lot of different activities. So for me, I kind of had to make sure I didn't take on too many activities. So I guess it depends on where you are on that whole scheme of things. But
right.
Yeah, especially when you're walking down at UVA looking at all the different clubs and organizations you can be a part of. It's really an exciting time. And so, what I did do the website committee of a nonprofit, which was pretty awesome. But and one thing that's great about coming to college is that you have so many resources to use. You can use things like Photoshop, which costs a lot of money per month, but it's free to you as a student. If you're feeling entrepreneur type, then you can get your friends on board and go for something like that. Try out your ideas, because the good thing about college is you've got a lot of people eager to jump on board with things, and if it doesn't go well, then I look at that as an opportunity to learn what not to do in the real world. So look at college as kind of your little oyster playground where you can take lots of ideas and run with them.
Right, exactly. And now along those lines of what not to do, or perhaps what to do, and of course in this sort of social media world where this younger generation has grown up completely exposed to this, how do you handle the sort of private face of Alex Katzen, the individual, versus what you might do as a public-facing face for when you're working with clients and freelance work? How do you sort of integrate those two, or do you not? Do you keep them separate?
Yeah, so when you're in college, it seems like a lot of people do recommend keeping your Facebook private, or taking a lot of things offline. But to me, I think they should be, well, at least for me, it works to integrate everything. So my blog is fun. It's not something that I would show my clients and say, oh, look, health and fitness, unless they were interested in that. But my blog is, I use that whole saying, don't put online what you wouldn't want on the New York Times. So,
right.
Yeah, so I like to keep all my profiles public for the most part. Facebook's a little different, but keep everything open, and that way you don't have to remember, oh, I'm talking to a client, I'm this person. Because with my blog, I use that to advertise myself so that I can use that with clients. So while I might not always put the two together with a sales introduction, I like to keep everything integrated for sure. So it depends on the individual, though, definitely.
Right, right. Great advice. And I'll go ahead and show you guys here Alex's blog, so you can find her online. We have her here at, you see we found her with the, she has contributed to the U.Va Global Network, and as well you can find her at cookiedoughkatzen.com. So you can see her, keep track of what she's doing in health and fitness, and find her and reach out to her if you're looking for any extra advice. Okay, and Alex, thank you so much. It was a great pleasure talking to you. We want to keep these short and keep them coming. So if anyone is interested in participating in one of these hangouts like Alex, go ahead and you can email us at the Office of Engagement at alaric@virginia.edu. And Alex, I'll go ahead and let you have the last word here before we sign off.
Thank you, Alaric, and thanks everyone for showing up today, and hope everyone has a great day.
Okay, and wahoo wah.
Wahoo wah.